So the mechanism of SN reactions. So when we consider the nucleophilic substitution reactions, there are four parts of the nucleophilic substitution reaction. That is the nucleophile, substrate, and that of the substituted product, and that of the leaving group. Actually, what happens in the nucleophilic substitution reaction? There will be attack of nucleophile on the electropositive center of the substrate. Then there will be a release of the halogen atom. Then there will be formation of substituted product and that of the leaving group. Now when this nucleophilic substitution reaction takes place, what happens? There will be a heterolytic fission of the CX bond will be takes place. It is a covalent bond, and when this bond is break, both the electrons which are present in the CX bond are take away by the halogen atom, and therefore halogen atom acquires a negative charge, and this halogen atom is called a leaving group. After that, there will be at the same time there will be a formation of bond between the nucleophile and that of the carbon, and for this bond formation, nucleophile use the electrons which are present on the nucleophile, and then there will be a formation of bond between the carbon and that of the nucleophile. So if you observe this nucleophilic substitution reaction, in that nucleophilic substitution reaction, bond breaking and bond making, these two processes will be takes place. When there will be a bond breaking, the halogen atom carries away both the electrons with it, and therefore it acquires a negative charge, and it is called a leaving group. And the attacking reagent, that is the nucleophile, which attack on the substrate at the positive center, which use their electrons to form the bond with the carbon, and these two processes will be takes place. Now these two processes takes place simultaneously or one by one, or this process, that is the bond making and bond breaking, will takes place in a single step or in a number of steps. That description that we are giving for how there will be a formation of product when the nucleophile attack on the substrate, that description is nothing but the mechanism of that reaction. And when we are considering the nucleophilic substitution reaction, it is called the SN mechanism, that is the substitution nucleophilic mechanism. Now it is the description by which how there will be a sequence of the leaving group and that of the nucleophile when there will be a formation of product, and by which type of way that is using for this substitution reaction. The description of these two things we can know from the mechanism. So how we can say that, or how we can define the mechanism? The mechanism of SN reaction is the description regarding the two processes, that is the sequence and that of the way by which this reaction will be occur, is called a mechanism of SN reaction. Now when we consider the SN mechanism, there are two types of SN mechanism, that is the SN1 mechanism and that of the SN2 mechanism. So there are two types of SN mechanism, SN1 and that of the SN2. Now first we have to consider the SN2 mechanism. Now SN2, it means substitution nucleophilic, 2 means bimolecular. So what is the long form of this? SN2, substitution nucleophilic bimolecular mechanism. Now mainly the ideal example to explain the SN2 mechanism is the reaction of the methyl bromide with the hydroxyl ion to give a methanol, and that of the bromide ion is the one of the ideal example to explain the SN2 mechanism. Now when we are considering this reaction, that is the formation of methanol from methyl bromide, in that case the hydroxyl ion, it is a nucleophile which carries a negative charge. This is our substrate. There will be a carbon bromine bond, so that carbon is the electropositive center for the attack of nucleophile, and when this nucleophile attack on this carbon, there will be breaking of bond between carbon and that of the bromine, and at the same time there will be a formation of bond between carbon and that of the hydroxyl group to give a methanol and that of the leaving group. Now how we can if we are considering this reaction, how we can explain the mechanism, or this reaction takes place according to the which type of mechanism, that is whether it is according to the SN1 or SN2. To know that mechanism, first we have to use the chemical kinetics of that reactions. In the chemical kinetics, we must know the rate of the reaction. We will get, according to the chemical kinetics, we are getting the rate equation, and when we are considering the rate equation for a particular reaction, from that we must know the rate of the reaction, and from that we can give the mechanism of that reaction. Now for this reaction, we are by using the chemical kinetics, we are getting the rate equation. Rate is equal to K, concentration of methyl bromide and into concentration of hydroxyl ion. This square bracket represent the concentration of this species. Now if you observe the rate equation, in the rate equation, according to the rate equation, rate of this reaction is depend on the concentration of methyl bromide and concentration of hydroxyl ion. K is the rate constant, it remains the constant, and therefore we can say that the rate of reaction is depend on the concentration of methyl bromide and concentration of hydroxyl ions. It means the rate of this reaction depends on the concentration of both the reactants, that is the methyl bromide and that of the hydroxyl ions. It means when we are considering this rate equation, in that rate equation, the rate of the reaction is depend on the concentration of the both the reactants. It means in the slow step both the reactants are present. Now when we are considering the rate equation or the chemical kinetics for the particular reaction, the rate of the reaction depend on the slow step of that reaction. So when we are considering any reaction, this reaction maybe takes place in a number of steps, but out of that the slowest step decides the rate of that equation, and therefore the slowest step is called the rate determining step. And when we are getting this rate equation for this reaction, in that case in the rate determining step or in the slow step, both the reactants are involved. It means when this is possible, when both the reactants can affect the rate of the reaction, the possibility is only that when there will be attack of hydroxyl ion on the substrate. It means if there will be a formation of bond between the hydroxyl ion and that of the carbon of the methyl bromide, at the same time simultaneously there will be a breaking of bond between the carbon and bromine. It means in the slow step both the processes takes place simultaneously. In the rate determining step both the steps takes place simultaneously. Why we are giving this mechanism? Because in the rate equation the rate of the reaction depend on the concentration of both the reactants, that is the methyl bromide and hydroxyl ions. What is the conclusion drawn from that? There must be a attack of nucleophile on the substrate, and then there will be a formation of bond between the nucleophile and that of the substrate. At the same time there will be a breaking of bond between the substrate and that of the leaving group. Both the processes must be takes place simultaneously, and therefore we can say that it is a single step reaction. It is a one step reaction. It means in the single step, in a one step we are getting a product, because both the processes, that is the bond breaking and bond making, taking place simultaneously, and therefore we can say that this reaction will be completed in a single step, and that is the slow step, that is the rate determining step. And therefore we can give the mechanism. We can say that there will be a attack of hydroxyl ion on the substrate, as well as there will be breaking of bond between the carbon and that of the bromine takes place simultaneously. So there will be attack of hydroxyl ion on the carbon of the methyl bromide. At the same time there will be a formation of bond between the hydroxyl ion and that of the carbon. At the same time, there will be a breaking of bond between the carbon and bromine. Both the processes takes place simultaneously, and then we are getting a transition state. Now in the transition state, I am showing there will be a formation of bond between the hydroxyl ion and that of the bromine, and there will be breaking of bond between the carbon and bromine. I am showing these bonds by dotted lines. It means these are not complete bonds, these are the partial bonds, because when there will be attack of hydroxyl ion on the carbon, there will be a process of starting of formation of bond, and when there will be a starting of process of formation of bond between the carbon and that of the hydroxyl ion, at the same time there must be a process of breaking of bond. Both the processes takes place simultaneously, and therefore as there will be a formation of bond between the hydroxyl ion and that of the carbon ion, there will be a breaking of bond between the carbon and bromine bond, and therefore both the bonds are partial bonds. So in the transition state we are getting there are total 5 bonds. Actually, what is the valency of carbon? It is 4, but in that case we are getting a 5 bonds. That is, there will be a formation of pentacovalent transition state, and because these are not fully covalent bonds, these are the partial bonds, and therefore I am showing either half negative charge, because both the processes taking place simultaneously, bond formation and bond breaking. So in the transition state we are getting a such type of pentavalent or pentacovalent transition state. Now as the reaction progresses, what happens? This carbon bromine bond heterolytically broken, and the carbon hydroxyl ion bond will be completely formed to give our a substituted product, and there will be a formation of leaving group which leaves the substrate. So that is the SN2 mechanism. So what are the silent features of SN2 mechanism? So first one, it is a single step mechanism. It means we are getting the products in a single step. Now second, in that case there will be a attack of nucleophile takes place in that single step, and there will be a bond breaking and bond making takes place in that particular step, and then it gets converted into the product. Now when we are observing the transition state, it is the pentacovalent transition state, in which there will be a formation of partial carbon hydroxyl bond and carbon bromine bond. Both bond making and bond breaking takes place simultaneously. So that is the transition state. Now when we are using the optically active substrate, it means which contains a chiral carbon atom. Now in that case, when we are using the optically active substrate, we are getting the inverted product. The product we are getting is the inverted product. Why we are getting the inverted product? Because in that case the hydroxyl ion attack from the back side of the substrate. Why there will be attack of hydroxyl ion from the back side? Because when we are considering which is the front side is the where there will be attachment of bromine. If there will be attack of, if we consider the hydroxyl ion attack from the front side, then there will be a steric hindrance due to the bulkier bromine group. The size of the bromine group is large as compared to the hydrogen having the smallest size. Now when it wants to attack from the front side, this bulky group restrict the attack of the hydroxyl ion to the carbon. That is the first reason the front side attack is not possible. Second reason, what is the charge on the bromine? It carries a negative charge. And what is the charge on our nucleophile? It also carries a negative charge. And when it wants to attack from the front side, these negative charges repel each other, and therefore the front side attack in the SN2 mechanism is not possible. Backside attack is possible, because when it attacks from the back side of that of the bromine, there will be a steric hindrance is less, because the bulkier group is present on the opposite side. Second thing, when it attacks, the hydrogen carries a partial positive charge, so there will be a no repulsion between the same charges, and therefore the SN2 reactions always favor from the backside attack. And now if the hydroxyl ion attacks on the backside, the bond form must be the opposite to that of the carbon bromine bond. Now in that case the carbon bromine bond is on the right hand side, but the carbon hydroxyl bond which is formed, which is on the left hand side. It means we are getting the inverted product. If this is the optically active substrate, in that case there will be an attack of hydroxyl ion from the back side due to two reasons. That is the steric hindrance or steric crowding, and that of the repulsion amongst the or between the same charges. And then we are getting the transition state. If you observe the transition state, in the transition state these three hydrogen atoms are present in a one plane, and these hydroxyl ions and that of the bromide ion which are attached to this carbon, these are perpendicular to the plane of these three hydrogen atoms, and that is the pentacovalent transition state. Now what happens as the reaction progresses? What happens? The carbon bromine bond completely break down and the carbon hydroxyl bond completely form, and we are getting the configuration of the product that is opposite to that of the substrate. So it is just like a flipping of umbrella. So in that case we are getting a product with inverted configuration. The configuration of the product is inverted, and therefore it is called a Walden inversion.